residents at Brightview Senior Living Communities enjoy enhanced possibilities, independence, and choice. Brightview Homedale will offer vibrant senior independent living, assisted living, and memory care services through various daily programs and cultural events, chef-prepared meals, safety and security, transportation, resort-style amenities, and high-quality care. Everything you need is here. Discover more at brightviewhomedale.com. Welcome Center opens in February. Equal housing opportunity.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. And with convenient online shopping, you can order on the app, pick up in store, and get outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The TD Cash Credit Card lets you choose how you earn your cashback rewards. Learn more at td.com/cashcard. TD Bank, unexpectedly human. Restrictions apply. See terms and conditions on tdbank.com or visit a TD Bank store for details regarding the rewards program, rates, fees, and other important information. Credit approval required. Offered by TD Bank N.A.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Austin Green.
I'm Shauna Burgess.
And I'm Randy Spelling.
And you are listening to Oldish, an iHeartRadio podcast.
Welcome back for another episode, everybody.
Yes.
Here we are.
Yes. Oh, these are so
Q&A
I love
episode.
these Q&A episodes. I really do. I really love hearing what people, listeners think and feel about what it is we're talking about. And them having the opportunity and the ability to join in the conversation, because that's honestly what this show is about. It's what we talked about in the very beginning, and I so enjoy the fact that we get to do this. I love these episodes.
I love these because Randy always has some great answers, and I'm like, I like that.
I know.
I'm taking that.
I know.
I think what's so fun is when talking about subjects,
yeah.
I am constantly learning from both of you and things that you say. I'm constantly learning from the callers who call in and the questions. And it's so symbiotic in that way. It's not just one-sided where we're just here to give advice.
Right.
I'm thinking about this as the days go on. I'm revisiting all the callers. I think most of the callers have DM'd us.
Yeah.
We've been talking
It's great.
after, and to hear some of their follow-up has been really, really special because it's not like we just, we talk to them.
Right. I hope that helped. And then they're off and we wish them the best.
Ignore them. Yeah. No, it's really nice to have connection like this.
It's really nice to hear the effect, the possible effects of what it is we speak to people about. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that it affects any positive change at all, because that's what we're here for.
So Randy, I'm going to ask you the first question, and I'm just going to ask you the first question. Ready? Okay. I was going to say be rapid, but you're good at being quick. I've got to say that to Brian and myself, not to you. Yeah. So this is coming from Grace. She says, I love social media because I am able to express myself, meet new people, and draw inspiration. I know it can negatively affect my self-confidence, and it does happen, but I don't want to give it up. Do you have any strategies that I can implement in my life that can potentially lessen the negative effects of using social media while not deleting the apps?
So first and foremost, what I love about this question, Grace, is that you realize the positive effects that you have. I think for some people, understanding the positive effects, you can at least weigh, hey, what am I getting from this? If you're actually getting a lot from it, you may not need to delete the app at all because you're getting benefit. I think the question is, where and when are you not getting benefit? So if your mornings, you have your morning routine and you go on social media and you're connecting and you're expressing yourself and you're doing maybe something for work or something else, and that feels good, great, keep doing that. If you find that it's sometime, in the afternoon or the evening, and it's taking you away from doing something else that would make you feel better, but you're kind of just in it unconsciously, that is where you can implement a strategy such as putting a do not disturb on your phone, or making sure that you can't access that particular app at certain times of the day. So you use it for It's like coffee. If it helps you in the morning and you feel really good and it's part of your day, by all means, indulge.
Right.
If, you drink coffee and it's 4 p.m. and you're like, oh, I love this, but I'm feeling really terrible. And then you're in bed shaking because you can't sleep. That's an indication that it's not good for you at that moment of the day.
Absolutely. And I would just add one little tip to it, is that if there's any accounts that you notice, because this happens to me, especially with the algorithm and on a Discover page, if there's anything that comes up for you that is uncomfortable or makes you not feel great, block those accounts, the ones that you don't follow. And if there are any accounts that you do follow that maybe you have a personal connection to but are triggering something for you, mute them. So you don't necessarily unfollow someone that you may have a connection to and they won't know that you've muted them, but you can mute them for a period of time so you don't feel like you're seeing this content and it's making you not feel good about yourself. Curate your experience of what you see on the app, because you have the power to do that. As soon as something comes up that doesn't feel right for you, block it or mute it, send it away, and the app will learn what it is that you do want to see.
Great.
I think we have a live caller.
We do have a live caller. Katie.
Hello.
Hi, Katie.
Hi,
yes,
Katie.
we
How are
got
you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. We're so excited you're here to chat with us today.
Yes, thank you. I'm a big fan of both of you, so I'm happy to be able to ask my question.
Thank you, Katie.
you.
That's awesome. What is your question?
So my question has to do with social media kind of becoming a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you suggest with dealing with the fact that individuals can make lots of money as influencers by posting on social media, whether it's like with ads or other revenue making posts?
Right.
I find it discouraging to see that these celebrity influencers are making much more money than other very important jobs such as teachers, nurses, and I'm actually a public health professional.
Got you.
And I know they're making a lot more money than me. So kind of dealing with that aspect of social media.
First of all, Katie, thank you for what you do and being in public health. It's a really important role. And I totally understand your question, and that could be really frustrating. I am someone that does make money off of Instagram and being somewhat of an influencer, and I'm really grateful that I get to do that. And I agree with you that I think there is an unjust imbalance in the way that our healthcare professionals, our teachers, our nurses, and our are being paid, and I don't think they're honored enough, and I don't think they're paid enough. I completely agree with you, and I wish that were different. However, and we were actually just talking about this, baby. You had a great perspective that you can jump in on, but I think from the beginning of time, it's been that way for entertainers, as unjust as that is, and I agree with you that it is.
Yeah, entertainers, unfortunately, have just been so overvalued for so long, and there is an absolute imbalance between people that really do amazing work and deserve way more money than they're making, and then people that are making ridiculous amounts of money that do not deserve the amount of money that they're making. I honestly don't know how to rectify that. Like, I don't know what that solution would be. I mean, it would, honestly, I think it would have to be an overhaul of the system itself and the way it works.
Right. Because to talk about, you specifically bring up influencers, to talk about influencers, then you're also talking about actors that do an Audi commercial, like Matthew McConaughey, who probably made millions of dollars doing that commercial.
Influencers, that is just advertising within social media.
Yeah. It's another add-on to the entertainment industry.
It's just a new sort of branch of what has existed for a long time. When I was a kid, as an actor, I did tons of commercials, and at that point, it was you were paid for national commercials, and you got residuals for things, and so it's social media now is just sort of a new form of entertainment, and you have these big companies that are realizing, oh my goodness, we could reach such a huge audience.
Their advertising dollars go further on social media
just by
platforms.
paying this one person that has this many followers to speak about our product, and so they're paid within that, and there is no balance at all.
I guess if there is something in this, and maybe it's not what you feel called to do, one of the differences with it being an influencer, not an actor, is anyone can be an influencer. anyone, should they choose to go down that route, can start a TikTok account and find a lane. There are nurses that are influencers that have millions of followers and sharing what they do. And I love that they can then make money that way as well. So it isn't just now solely for A-listers that get to make this money in that lane. It's been opened up to anyone that can be an influencer or be discovered for something on these social media apps. So I think in some way, again, I like Bri said, I don't know how to rectify it or justify it. I just know that it's always been that way. But possibly if there's anyone that does trigger you or make you feel uncomfortable in the things that you're watching, is to mute those people, even if it's me, you know what I mean? And there's something that I'm sharing and you're like, oh God, another one, and I don't want to see it. Just mute it and try and not let it affect you energetically and make you feel like you don't have that worth, because you absolutely do. The system it's not rigged in your favor, and I wish that it was. You guys that make differences in people's lives, in the raising of our children, in the keeping us healthy and safe and all these things, you deserve so much more than you get. And I wish that I had the power to change that for you. And I hope that it eventually does change. But in the meantime, I would say protect your energy in the way you feel. And we just said this before earlier in our episode, curate your experience on your social media apps. And if there are those people you follow that are giving you a negative experience, just even if you don't want to unfollow because you don't want to not support, just mute or unfollow and allow yourself to have a more healthy space on your social media platforms.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's also just hard because, again, all the social media platforms are free for users to use, and it's at your fingertips. And like you mentioned last, like how many people are on their phone, like the amount of time, it's just kind of constant. And then I notice too, sometimes people do the comparing those influencers, like what do they have that I don't have? Like they're not like an actor, they're just showing their day of their life.
Maybe that is, if you're trying to look for silver linings though within this, maybe that is one that social media and being able to be an influencer and work within that has opened up a lane that didn't exist necessarily before, where there's much more access for anyone to really find their way of growing within that, compared to having to be in a town where you
could be discovered.
Having to be in Los Angeles or New York or be in these like hubs and meet the right person and open up a door that way. You can open up those doors yourself. Just by finding a niche in something that people want to watch. I wish I could figure out social media, because I see what some people are accomplishing and doing within it. And it's like, I wish I knew what the formula was, because I would want to be a part of it just as much as anyone else. So I understand your frustration for sure. I think though, if it's, if it is something that is tough for you to experience and have in your life, then maybe you do try and figure out sort of your own lane and your way of using it to your benefit. Yeah, like if you can't
beat them, maybe join them. Is there something
the same way people, they check stocks and they try and figure out how to get involved in the money aspect of everything. Maybe this is just another avenue that you could look into.
Randy, you were going to say you were going to think that same lane?
What I was wondering is this something that you would ideally like to do? Do you have thoughts?
Not exactly. No, not.
She's like, no.
Yeah, surprisingly, not really. I'm not that tech savvy, and that's something that I don't want the whole world seeing everything. So I don't think that's my lane, but I do like the idea that really, if you put in the time and effort, you can get into that.
Right.
Yeah. But I just don't think that's for me.
There are also, by the way, accounts that make a ton of money without it being about them personally. It's like fan accounts, or it's about money making, or it could be about the healthcare industry, but you're an anonymous person. Like you probably have a wealth of information that people would love to get access to, and that you could eventually then build up this following, and then you would have, pharmaceutical or health or anything within your lane want to spend their dollars on you for you to talk about whatever that is. It doesn't have to, if you change your way of thinking with and get creative, it doesn't have to be you and your life. It could be anything.
Yeah, and I am really passionate about public health and just healthcare access to vulnerable individuals. And so I think that's... Do
you know how many people want more information on that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is a lane there that is waiting for you to jump in it should you want to.
Yeah.
Yes. So Katie, maybe you find your own lane if you want to, in a way that works for you, that is authentic, that feels good, that fosters your passion. But I would say, your question of how do you deal with these feelings and being discouraged by looking at this? I would say don't continue to compare to someone, which in your words you said, I don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not, it's like I could compare myself to someone and go, oh my gosh, they're jet setting and this is so nice and they're making money and it's so easy and I don't have to sit in an office
not even
and do
trying
all this
to.
stuff. But yet when someone says, okay, do you want to switch? And I go,
no,
not really.
Right.
Then it's not even a fair comparison.
Right. Yeah.
But that type of comparison will always leave you feeling discouraged because it doesn't feel fair. And I think the idea of fair is hard to reconcile sometimes.
No, I think that you nailed it. That's exactly it. Just the fairness and kind of unjust, just like what Brian and Sharna were saying at the beginning, were just the fact that like it's been like this forever, a really long time, that we're underappreciated in the medical,
you are
nurses and teachers.
I want you to know that we see that and we acknowledge that and we totally hear you and feel you and wish that it was different.
And we're not alone in feeling
that way. No, not at all.
That seems to be the consensus, way more so than not. That people that deserve to be making a lot more in what it is they do are underpaid and undervalued.
Absolutely.
So Katie.
Yes.
A lot of times I feel your energy and your passion. We all do. Sometimes having an outlet for that, where you feel that you're taking action, where you feel that you're doing something, will start to build something. And who knows what that could be. But I think if you have all of this passion and this feeling inside of you of, I want fair and I want just, and this isn't fair, to find a way to do something with that. So instead of that, oh, I could be doing this, find a way where you can put all of that energy and focus and passion into something that you feel would be purposeful and make a difference in some way.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And I definitely think I can do that.
I love that.
Especially when it comes to just like letting people know about healthcare and access and just everything. Especially, I'm very passionate about mental health too. So that's something that's needed.
Everyone needs more guidance and more information and more to be seen with that. And that would be such a beautiful gift for you to share too, for those that get to see it. I love that.
Katie, will you send us? Will you send us?
Yeah,
some
I'm
info?
I'm actually really excited too to see
where you go.
Where you go.
Yeah, I work for a city in the Boston suburb in the health department. So I'm relatively new. I just graduated with my master's in public health. So
congratulations.
First, real job. But yeah, I'm just really passionate about health and just increasing the access to everyone.
Passion will carry you a long way. Stay passionate.
Go spread your wings now and just see what you can accomplish. Cause I think it's shocking. It's shocking once you put yourself out there and you really you make the decision of doing something. Yeah. What you can accomplish that you never knew was even a possibility.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to hear that.
I could see, by the way, the look on your face right now. This is why I love seeing people. Yeah. The look on your face versus when we could see you.
Yeah. When you first came in.
There's the difference in energy of discouragement and down and, oh, this isn't fair, to, oh, I could do something with this. There's an outlet. Let me take that energy and put it forth in the world. I mean, I just see it working.
Yeah, and I just think and changing my focus, not focus, because again, getting that, I don't want to be someone who's lost all these ads, putting their face, their body in front of everything.
It's all up here. It really is. It's shifting the way you perceive the world around you, and choosing to be the person you want to be within it, instead of, like Randy said, comparing yourself to everybody else and constantly saying, oh, well, I have way less than everybody else that I'm looking at.
Totally.
Yes.
Instead of looking at it and going, ooh, what they have is really intriguing. I want that also. How can I accomplish that? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as changing the way you are viewing things and attacking life.
Yeah. Katie, you're awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for calling
Thank you so
us.
much for having me. This was
Super
so
exciting.
Especially what Sharna said, I can always mute people and they won't have to know.
Yep.
So I like to support a lot of people, especially some people are doing good things in social media, using social media for good.
Yeah,
Right.
it's great.
Yes.
Very, very true. Katie, thank you so much.
I definitely will keep you updated on what I have a couple ideas of what I can do to kind of get my passion out there.
I love that. And if there's anything
Great.
we can share or help you with, please DM us and let us know, and we will absolutely share whatever you create.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Katie.
thank you so much.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Bye.
Bye,
Katie.
Katie.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
This April, the 2024 Black Effect Podcast Festival is heading back to Atlanta. If you missed last year, you're going to want to grab your tickets now, because we have our partner Nissan breaking out all the stops to make this year even more incredible. Nissan and the Black Effect are giving back. They're helping to empower HBCU scholars with their Thrill of Possibility Summit, an action-packed weekend of community building, mentorship, and professional development dedicated to HBCU scholars pursuing professions in STEAM. But don't just take my word for it. Hear from the students themselves.
That was an amazing experience. I'm getting a lot of exposure and networking opportunities, so I'm really just grateful to be here.
Well, I was just honored to be there, to be honest, and I was just very inspired, and I'm just glad that they were able to make that impact and sow that seed into our lives.
But wait, there's more. On top of supporting the next generation, Nissan is bringing back the Pitch Your Podcast Lounge. That's right. If you have a podcast idea, you'll have a chance to record a pitch that will be shared with the Black Effect Podcast Network team. You can count on Nissan to dial up the thrill in your adventures, no matter where life takes you.
Trying to lower your bad cholesterol isn't easy. Kale and spinach?
Okay, let's pick up the pace.
Remember to take your statin. But today, it's possible to go from struggle to cholesterol success with Leqvio, proven to lower bad cholesterol with just 2 doses a year after 2 initial doses.
You've got this.
So if you're ready for a change, ask your doctor about adding Leqvio. Prescription Leqvio, inclisiran, is given by a doctor for people who, along with diet and a statin, need help lowering their bad cholesterol, LDL-C. Common side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, and chest cold. Results may vary. Learn more at Leqvio.com or call 1-833-537-8462. Ask your doctor about twice-yearly Leqvio. That's Leqvio.
Elevate your gifting this year with rare and exceptional bourbons, tequilas, scotch, wine, and champagne with personalized engraving, exceptional glassware, and more. From wines to whiskeys, there's a bottle for everyone. For a limited time, save $20 on your order of $150 plus with code IHEART at reservebar.com.
I love that.
That was awesome.
I love the concept of just helping someone realize that they can, just in changing the way they view things and they live day to day, it can make such a profound difference in their life.
Totally. And the observation.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's really, everybody has the ability to do this. It's just a choice that they make. It's a choice of how you want to view things and where you want to approach life from which direction.
Right.
Yeah. And
Randy?
it starts with the question, right? I mean, Katie was bold enough to ask the question, which means if she's asking the question, likely she's pretty open to hearing what we have to share. And then, I mean, did you see the shift?
I was about to say,
energy?
Randy, your observation was it.
Yeah.
I wish people could see that. Everyone listening,
it.
I wish you could have seen it.
Yeah.
The energy shift in her and the smile that, she left with in the
You
hope.
could
It's
hear
so
it
cool.
though. Beyond even seeing it, I think you could just hear it in her tone, and you could hear the smile on her face as she was speaking.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back into a couple of questions. Let's do Jill. My daughter recently started using social media. I think she is too young, but once she got a phone, she was instantly making accounts. I wanted to keep her off of it, but all of her friends use it, and I didn't want her to feel as though I was controlling or limiting her. Do you guys have any suggestions on how to navigate this? I don't want her to be left out with her friends, but I'm also worried she's too young. There's no age.
How old is Jill?
There's no age. Jill's the mother. There's no age on here, but if she just got a phone, I'm going to guess early teens, right?
That is a huge part of the question for me is her age. Right. Because that, to me, there's so many different changes that can happen from 14 to 16 and what you would allow and what you were okay with.
So I think for me, if without knowing her age, just as where I sit right now with social media, I think 16 is the youngest I would allow our kids to have a social media account. And I know that may alienate them from some things going on at school, but I would rather them be alienated from that than they be open to and susceptible the other option, which is the online bullying and the comparison and the falls that the dark holes they can fall into on social media accounts.
It's interesting the words that she chose of, I don't want her to feel as though I was controlling or limiting her. I personally wouldn't care.
Especially at a young teen age.
Yeah, at a young age.
I think there's a way to approach that.
It's my job to be a parent. It's my job to safely help my children navigate this world and this life and growing up within it. And there are going to be certain situations where your kids feel controlled or limited. At a young age, how much candy they can eat on Halloween can feel controlling or limiting. But there's a certain point to me where you step in, you go, you know what? I understand that you feel that way. It's not going to change what limits and rules I'm putting on you, but I do acknowledge that you're feeling that, and I'm sorry that you're feeling that, and I'm sorry if it's difficult compared to your friends who have access to these things. But it's not my job to just be your friend. It's my job. I'm your parent. You only have two of them. You have a mother and a father.
Or a father, or a mother.
Right. Or father, or mother. Yeah, two parents. Actually, in our case, they have three parents.
Could be one parent.
Stepfather. But you're right. It's not
wishy-washy. You're taking a stand for your child. You're taking a stand because of what you believe in, and that could change. But I think the important thing that you're saying, Brian, is you can't be wishy-washy and vacillate. If there's something you feel strongly about and you're worried about some of the pitfalls, then
you're the adult. Like, you're the one making those choices, and you're making them with the best of intentions. You're making them to keep your child's safety a priority. So it's like, that's just continue to make that, and your child will get it at some point or may not. And that's, and you've got to just be willing to know that's going to happen either way.
Right. And as far as her getting a phone and just making accounts, you can control that. There are parental controls that you can put on phones so they don't have access to things like this, and they simply can't download them.
Yeah. Our kids have accounts that are underneath our accounts. So we have complete parental control and access to everything.
Yeah. And they don't have social media accounts, by the way.
But I mean, we can decide whether they even have browsers or what age appropriate material there is, or what they can view or what they can't. I mean, there are ways to go in and have complete control
and put limits on things.
And you know what? You are paying for this device to be in your daughter's life. And so to me, having restrictions on that and having things that are okay and things that are not, that just comes with the territory. It's, my child is not paying for these things. And even if they were, I still would have controls on these things, and I would have limits to what they were allowed to view and have downloaded and not. To me, until my children are old enough to move out and are managing their own lives, that is a stand that I take very seriously, and I'll continue to to have control and make those choices for my children's safety.
I agree with that. All right, Randy, anything to add?
The one thing I would just add, I mean, all very well said, I agree, is what are you worried about? Because that also factors into this. If you're worried about your child making accounts and there's things that are being hidden, or, one of the things with social media, I'm just going to say this, right? Because there are great things that exist. One of the things, though, that happens is that you can make an account and come online, and someone could DM you. You don't know who that someone is, and they're trying to talk to you. They're trying to get access to you. This happens all the time to kids. They start a connection, and then they say, hey, let's meet somewhere. And do you know that without discussing this, without understanding that does happen, children go, they don't tell their parents, and they go and meet them. And, I won't finish the story. But these are things that exist. These are things that happen. Even if you're just worried about, pettiness, cattiness, comparison, discuss these things as well.
Yeah.
I think you can
such
absolutely
a good point,
make
Randy. Oh my God.
Right. Like you could make a hard line and say why you're choosing not to give them these social media accounts, but also discuss why so that they understand, because if you don't, they don't know what to look out for.
Yeah.
So they're not understanding. They're just hearing you maybe being controlling without understanding, there are certain things that I may need to look out for, such as if I'm seeing what all these high school girls or boys are doing and, they're making comments, this is a place where I might not feel good about myself. So I at least know what to look out for if it's happening.
Right. Yeah, it's an incredible point that you make,
it's a really
Randy.
good point.
I love that.
Information.
Maybe there is something in not making things taboo, right? So you don't create a big fascination around them. And maybe the approach of, no, you cannot, and it's bad for you, and not until this age, creates a sort of fascination with it, which kids are creative, man. They're going to find ways to get on these things. Maybe there is some way of, depending on the age of your daughter, that you can have an open conversation about it, and she is very open with you about what's on it and shares it with you and shows it to you, and you talk to her about the dangers of talking to people, because anyone that could DM her could pretend to be a girl from a school next door but actually be a grown man, and that's existed since the chat rooms came around, and that is such a big thing that, Randy, that you just made a point of, and a whole new perspective for me to think about when heading into social media and our kids in the years to come.
Gaming, it happens all the time.
Totally, it
social
does too.
Media. I will tell you that I got a little bit of insight, and it just opened my mind. It was fascinating. Someone said at the beginning of the school year that the local police department, they had someone come in and speak and said that their division, their job is to track. And even in the vicinity of where I live and very close by, they are watching people come online and DM all the time. And
Wow.
I thought, oh my gosh, this isn't just some story that's happening.
This
This is all over. This is here. This does happen. So look, the idea isn't to make everyone completely fearful and shaking about this. But again, if you tell your daughter this, if you talk to your children about this so that they know, have a plan. I was talking to my girls the other day about having code words, because now, with the invention of AI, this is going off on a tangent.
I know.
Your voice can be copied.
Yes, I've
And
heard
it's
those
like,
phone
if
calls.
you think something is weird, have code words, or have something. Come to us. We will drive you. If you want to meet someone, we will drive you. We will sit all the way over there. But don't just go alone. Don't lie to. These are just things that if you have the conversation, again, it doesn't become taboo, and it's something that they know to look out for, so they become savvy, because we all have to navigate this.
Really good point. Yeah, Randy, you're amazing. Thank you for that.
This April, the 2024 Black Effect Podcast Festival is heading back to Atlanta. If you missed last year, you're going to want to grab your tickets now, because we have our partner Nissan breaking out all the stops to make this year even more incredible. Nissan and the Black Effect are giving back. They're helping to empower HBCU scholars with their Thrill of Possibility Summit, an action-packed weekend of community building, mentorship, and professional development dedicated to HBCU scholars pursuing professions in STEAM. But don't just take my word for it. Hear from the students themselves.
That was an amazing experience. I'm getting a lot of exposure and networking opportunities, so I'm really just grateful to be here.
Well, I was just honored to be there, to be honest, and I was just very inspired, and I'm just glad that they were able to make that impact and sow that seed into our lives.
But wait, there's more. On top of supporting the next generation, Nissan is bringing back the Pitch Your Podcast Lounge. That's right. If you have a podcast idea, you'll have a chance to record a pitch that will be shared with the Black Effect Podcast Network team. You can count on Nissan to dial up the thrill in your adventures, no matter where life takes you.
Trying to lower your bad cholesterol isn't easy. Kale and spinach?
Okay, let's pick up the pace.
Remember to take your statin. But today, it's possible to go from struggle to cholesterol success with Leqvio, proven to lower bad cholesterol with just 2 doses a year after 2 initial doses.
You've got this.
So if you're ready for a change, ask your doctor about adding Leqvio. Prescription Leqvio inclisiran is given by a doctor for people who, along with diet and a statin, need help lowering their bad cholesterol, LDL-C. Common side effects were injection site reaction, joint pain, and chest cold. Results may vary. Learn more at Leqvio.com or call 1-833-537-8462. Ask your doctor about twice-yearly Leqvio. That's Leqvio.
Elevate your gifting this year with rare and exceptional bourbons, tequilas, scotch, wine, and champagne with personalized engraving, exceptional glassware, and more. From wines to whiskeys, there's a bottle for everyone. For a limited time, save $20 on your order of $150 plus with code IHEART at reservebar.com.
I have a question. This is another one about a daughter. She is 16. Joan is asking, my daughter asked me if she could get lip fillers. And I know this is the trend right now. And a lot of her friends have gotten it done at 16. She is 16 and in high school. And I am torn on whether or not I should let her get the lip fillers or have her wait until she is 18. The fact that it is a trend in high school to change your face and put a chemical, like to put fillers in your face, that this is even a trend that anyone has allowed their 16-year-old to do. This is beyond me. And I, Joan, thank you for asking the question, for wanting to know more about this and whether it is okay. I think I understand that you want to, allow your daughter to feel like she can express herself and not feel left out, maybe like all the cool kids are doing it. But I'm telling you, at 16 years old, to begin the journey of altering her appearance when she's barely even, like she's still going through an awkward teenager phase, I think is the wrong move. I truly think it's the wrong move. And I would never want to force an opinion on someone or tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I would do with my daughter, should I have one. Right. Is at 16, there is no way we are even talking about anything that is going to change your face. I would even honestly have discussions around makeup. Yes, use makeup, but in the most natural and highlighting of ways, not this like I'm going to look like someone else type of makeup. Right. That you're 16 years old. You have to, I think that's a part of growing up is accepting and loving yourself and going through these awkward stages and seeing yourself grow. I think to change yourself at such a young age is where's the line then? When does it stop? Where does it stop? I have a deep aversion to this. And it's not to shame you, Joan. I actually applaud you for asking the question.
Yeah, it's a great question.
And understanding how much this is a trend right now in schools and in teenagers. And it simply breaks my heart that it is a trend.
I would almost, I try to follow the concept of picking your battles. But on something like that is, to me, at the point when you're 18 and you're a legal adult, you can do whatever
you make choices for yourself
right,
at that point.
Right. But at 16, that is, in picking battles, it's like, okay, there are things that I allow because I know, like, oh, it's not permanent. It's just what kids want to do. And that's all sorts of things, haircuts, color, different things.
There's ways to express, absolutely, that don't come with changing your appearance.
Yeah,
and
I
think
when you're crossing over into anything surgical.
I put my Randy hat on for a second to ask a question and to maybe chat with your daughter about why she feels she needs to change her face and start addressing those things with her. Randy, I think that is something you probably have some beautiful advice on.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not always that opinionated, I guess, until I am.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I think 16 is too young. If you remember, they're just awkward years trying to fit in. Your children are having a struggle to learn their identity and to understand their identity, and to not yet understand their identity and figuring that out, and then making these enhancements and augmentations. You're starting them down the road of saying that is okay. You can do that whenever you want, without a deeper conversation of what is it like for you to look at yourself and see yourself the way that you are? Is it your lips? Is it that you see certain people and you want to look like them? Is it like, what's driving this? Mm-hmm. And I think really understanding what is driving this is where to focus more, because the lips aren't going to cure what's driving that want.
Totally. So true.
The want is not feeling good about the way that you are. And that, it's going to be lips. And then it could be breasts, or it could be losing more weight, or it just keeps moving until that particular insecurity is dealt with. And that is where the focus should be.
I love that. Yeah. Randy, I want to then follow up with a question from Andy, and because of the things that you've just, shared with us, same sort of question, but for an adult now and a friend. So Andy asks, you guys spoke about the trend line and how it can lead down a dangerous path. My friend is considering getting her lips done and is sort of looking for my support. I'm honestly against unnecessary plastic surgery that is not medically beneficial, and I feel like this is just the beginning for her. How can I express these feelings and concerns to her without coming across as judgmental or rude? Do the same rules apply to what you just said when it comes to an adult?
I would think having the basic conversation of, let's talk about why, let's talk about what it is that has you even considering doing something like that, because that is not a judgmental or rude conversation to have.
No, it fosters understanding. And I think if you fire a question right off the bat, oh, well, here I'm looking to change my lips, and someone goes, well, why would you do that?
Totally. That feels like an attack instead of a conversation. Right, it feels like
an attack. So communication, one of the most important things is mirroring, right? You hear it in therapy, you hear it. I mean, I do this with people in workplaces, in relationships, with couples, is mirror. Just hear them. Okay. So it sounds like, you've been thinking about this. I'm so curious. Can I ask you some questions? I'll give you my opinion after, but I'd really love to understand what you've been thinking about, what this process has been like for you. Mm-hmm. And most of the time someone goes, sure, right? Because then it creates a safe place for them to share. Well, I've been thinking about this for a long time. And just follow the lead. Ask questions. Once you ask your questions, then you get to decide, do you want to share? I think it's important to share your opinion. If you don't agree, then don't just go, I agree that you should do this.
Right.
You can absolutely say whatever your view is, and then say, and all that said, if you really want to do this, I'll support you whether I fully agree with you or not.
Totally. I agree with that. And also, just to add on to it, we're talking about lip injections, which is temporary and it goes away. Do you know what I mean? We're not talking about, because Andy references plastic surgery here. This is not a surgery. This is not like breaking your jaw and changing the shape or anything that is truly permanently altering. I think allowing this person to, have the conversation with you and share their wants and desires and their reasons with you. And sure, sharing that maybe you're not in support of it, but you will be in support of them, no matter what it is that they want to try, and knowing that they're just trying something out. If it ever did fall into what you were talking about, of it being just the beginning, like a slippery slope, and then suddenly she's looking at having, cheek implants and a jaw broken and a hairline lowered, or none or one of the above, then maybe there's a bigger conversation of like, whoa, okay, so we're getting into bigger, really permanent things here. Can we have a chat about that again? I'd just love to hear where you're coming from. But she's a grown woman at the end of the day.
Right.
Or grown person. Sorry, it doesn't say woman. So a grown person at the end of the day. Like, you got to allow this person to make choices for themselves, and to feel like you'll still be their friend at the end of the day,
Yeah. And it's something that you said, Sharna. If it's something that they're worried about, then you can have that conversation. Right? If Andy, you're worried that it's going to lead to more, and you said it's not permanent, so this is something that is, I don't know about these things. I guess it's not permanent. It goes away,
dissolves. Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I would ask, just from a health standpoint and a critical thinker, is have you researched the downsides of it? Are there any downsides of it?
Yeah, like what are you putting in your body type of thing?
I mean, I know a lot of women, for instance, get breast implants and it's fine and goes well. And then I know there are a lot of women who get breast implants and things go wrong and it can make them sick. And they have this low level of inflammation or something's leaking. I don't know that much about the lips, but I would imagine that that's a question to ask. The other thing is, if you're worried that it's going to lead to more, you can simply share that. Gosh, one of my concerns is that, that it doesn't stop at lips, that you might think about then doing more and more. Is that something that you've considered? And just open it up and share your concern.
Yeah, I think that open conversation is definitely the way to approach it. And not going in with being judgmental means that you won't come off as judgmental. Just go in to listen, I'm
going to read you a question. Alicia asks, I was always self-conscious of the bump I had on my nose. After college, I decided I wanted to get a nose job. I did it for myself and no one else. It looks amazing, but ever since my nose job, I've gotten more attention from men and started receiving more compliments. Because of this, it almost makes me upset that I wasn't pretty enough before. Do you have any advice on how to move past these thoughts?
Such an interesting question.
It
the
is.
Other side of having, face or body altering surgeries is this. I would never have thought of this perspective.
Well,
this
yeah,
side of
it's an interesting one, because from the outside, I would assume that the reason you would have a surgery like that is because you look at something as being unattractive to you. So then to get positive affirmation from people after you've done it seems like what would be the goal of doing it in the first place.
The goal to have
is like you want people to go, hey, that looks amazing.
Great. Yeah.
So then to feel like, oh, well, I wasn't thought of as pretty or whatever, possibly before it was done. It's like, well, wasn't that, I think, the thing that was in place in the first place? I mean, isn't that why you went down this road?
I think my angle for it, Alicia, is, you use the word enough in here, and this gets used often. Am I enough? Pretty enough? Enough. You are always enough with your previous nose and this nose. Your physical exterior appearance has nothing to do with whether you are enough. Of any category. You are pretty enough before and after your rhinoplasty.
Can you say that again, please? Can you just say that again?
No matter what you look like on the exterior, you are enough. And I think that is the point. That's, I guess, why Randy made me repeat it. That is the point at the end of the day. And to go back, I think, and worry about something that was in the past is only going to have you to continue living there. I think if you continue to just work on knowing that you are enough and that your physical appearance has nothing to do with that, and focus on moving forward in life with what you want to build and do and create and be, I think that will create more positive intention, energy, and affirmation in your life. But I think, Randy, you will also have some great insights to add on to the end of that.
I mean, that was a bit of a mic drop. I don't know.
Was it?
He made you repeat it, so I'm assuming that.
I mean, I think that message can be digested by everyone. No matter what job you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter what your exterior looks like, you can always improve things, but no matter that, you are enough.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that cannot get taken away. It is something that you own, that you have. It's a right. By you being on the planet, you're here. Right. That is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would leave it at that. I mean, I think the only thing I would add is that you did this alteration because of how you wanted to be perceived by others, how you want to look in the mirror and see yourself. And then going back to, well, why wasn't I pretty enough? That's not so much a question, that's a statement. And the statement that I hear in that is, why am I not enough? And I think that's for you to sit with and find just what Sharna said. Find that place of enoughness, no matter what the nose looks like, no matter what your exterior looks like. Find the place inside you that is enough. Start affirming that to yourself when you wake up. Find the parts of you that are enough. What makes that true? Find what's true for you, not just what we're saying, and affirm that to yourself. Say it to yourself until that meter starts to move and get more full.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have two of the smartest, most intelligent, and just awe-inspiring partners on this podcast. This is amazing.
I love you, baby.
This has been another amazing Q&A.
Cool episode. Yeah, I'm really grateful for our caller, Katie, and her question. I'm so excited to see where things go with her. Thank you, everyone, for sending in your questions to us and for, of course, listening to us and supporting us. You guys absolutely rock. And honestly, our reaction episodes are some of my favorites, where I get to speak to you guys and connect and dive into, get into the weeds of it, as Bri says. Yeah. As my man says, it's his favorite saying.
We'll keep getting into the weeds with you.
Do it. Let's get into the weeds with everyone.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes, you guys are amazing. Make sure you guys go and follow us on Instagram at oldishpod. And you can also go and leave us a message at our own hotline, which is 855-OLDISH3.
Make sure and write us a review. Leave us 5 stars if you loved it. Leave us 5 stars if you didn't.
We love 5 stars. We love 5 stars.
Yeah. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week, everyone.
Residents at Brightview Senior Living Communities enjoy enhanced possibilities, independence, and choice. Brightview Homedale will offer vibrant senior independent living, assisted living, and memory care services through various daily programs and cultural events, chef-prepared meals, safety and security, transportation, resort-style amenities, and high-quality care. Everything you need is here. Discover more at brightviewhomedale.com. Welcome Center opens in February. Equal housing opportunity.
The TD Cash Credit Card lets you choose how you earn your cashback rewards. Learn more at td.com/cashcard. TD Bank. Unexpectedly human. Restrictions apply. See terms and conditions on tdbank.com or visit a TD Bank store for details regarding the rewards program, rates, fees, and other important information. Credit approval required. Offered by TD Bank N.A.
Does money stress you out? Let Facet flip your financial chaos into clarity.
We feel way more confident and secure in our finances, and with that comes a sense of freedom.
Financial planning from Facet is here to help you improve your life today, tomorrow, and every day after that.
Facet was really the place where we saw all of the tools and the people coming together.
Visit Facet.com, FACET.com to learn more. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice. These testimonials are from current Facet members who are not compensated. All opinions are their own and not a guarantee of a similar outcome.